One of Donald Trump's UFC fighters just screamed, "Michelle Obama is a man," into the microphone after winning his fight at the White House. Just incredibly disgusting.
Lastly, Michelle Obama is a man.
I am appalled and disgusted like any American out there. Idiots like this shouldn't have a platform to say stuff like this. And the fact that it's taking place at the White House, the people's house, is even worse. It's a desecration.
Hey, Harry, was this also desecration of the White House when Biden put this show on at the White House? No, of course it's not, Harry, right? Of course it's not, because it was Biden, and Biden does everything perfect, and nothing Biden does is bad, right? And then Harry Sisson gets mad and says, I'm appalled because he just called Obama's wife a man, but he doesn't care when his whole crew calls Trump a fascist, Schmittler, authoritarian, Mussolini. Like, all that is fine to Harry, but this is not okay for Harry. Then he calls Josh Hokit Trump's fighter, which makes no sense. No, it's the UFC's fighter. Trump doesn't have fighters, bro. That's like saying that when Biden hosts an NBA player, you're going to call the NBA player Joe Biden's baller. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all, Harry Sisson. Trump doesn't own UFC fighters. Dana White does. And Harry Sisson says Josh Hokit shouldn't have a platform to be saying this stuff. You don't want people to have a platform because you don't like free speech, bro. Whenever you don't like something, you want them censored. And Harry, it's not about the comment. We all know certain conspiracies are stupid, but it's the fact that you have a double standard here. Harry Sisson just loves farming his clips, so he just doesn't care what he says, just as long as his followers all love what he says. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments here. Did you enjoy that UFC show?
Hello lovely people, welcome back to the Power Lens. In today's video, we are going to be looking at something interesting, and at the same time, oh my god, I feel bad for this. But before we start, if you are coming here for the very first time, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. All right, here we talk about the black community, how they are being treated in the society, their role in the society, and how they are being underestimated, okay, their abilities. So this is what we are going to be talking about on this channel. So do well to subscribe, like, comment and share for more information. Now in today's video, we are talking about this UFC fighter that actually went live calling the former first lady Michelle Obama a man. So after winning a fight at the White House, he was so excited and he started saying some things, and all of a sudden Michelle Obama is a man, in his words. And he started asking Americans, isn't that true? Like, are you for real? Why wouldn't people? Now when people started like saying, oh, this is racism, so you want to ask, why would they say so? Why would they not say so? Would you have called the wife of Donald Trump a man? If you were to be, if Michelle Obama were to be the wife of Donald Trump, would you have done that? So people would definitely say it's racism because she is from the black community. She is the wife to Barack Obama, who is the former president of the United States. So why would you even be making such? You say, oh, it's just a joke. Are you for real? Like people say, oh, that is how you used to talk when you win a fight. You used to create jokes. You used to make fun. There are some things that are no fun. They are no fun. All right, lovely people, let us just watch what people have to say about this, and then we will come back for commentary.
I'm going to file a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hokit. What he said isn't just insulting to me personally. It goes far beyond that. It's degrading, and it contributes to harmful stereotypes about Black women as a whole. My husband and I have always stood for equality, and we've consistently tried to support the idea of building an America where everyone is treated fairly, with dignity and real freedom for all. So for this kind of language to be said, especially at the White House, during the celebration of America's 250th anniversary, is deeply disappointing. It reinforces damaging narratives, and it's completely unacceptable and disrespectful. As a result, all of Josh Hokit's earnings from UFC Freedom 250 will be frozen. Those funds will then be used as compensation for the damage done to my reputation. I also want to be clear that I will not be keeping any of that money for personal use. Instead, it will be directed through the Obama Foundation toward charitable efforts, specifically programs that support and empower Black women. That includes access to mental health services, career and job training opportunities, and initiatives focused on preventing harassment in the workplace.
And when Michelle Obama files a defamation lawsuit, just like the First Lady of France filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens, I don't want to hear not a single complaint, none. Now, in case you missed it, this UFC fighter won his fight at the White House last night, which is already a sentence I never thought I would say. And then he got on stage and said this.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Matter of fact, my crew, make sure y'all screen record that. Save it, download it, put it on a flash drive. The Obamas might need it for discovery, because let's say Michelle Obama wakes up one morning and chooses violence. Legal violence, that is. She files a lawsuit and says, I'm not a man. You knew I wasn't a man. You said it publicly anyway, and now millions of people are repeating it. Congratulations, we have checked several boxes on our defamation worksheet. Now, am I saying she would win the lawsuit? I have no idea. I've been told y'all, my name is not Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. Do I think a case like that could survive a motion to dismiss and make his life extremely expensive for a while? Why, yes. Yes, I do. And I'm not saying that this UFC fighter is broke. I'm sure he's doing very well financially. I don't know if he has Michelle and Barack Obama money. You understand that? Because I know you thought you were being funny with that dusty, crusty, been sitting in the attic since 2008 joke. But what happens if Michelle Obama wants to be hilarious? What happens if she decides that the punchline to the joke is your legal fees?
What has Michelle Obama done to any of y'all? If you want to be mad at President Obama because maybe he passed some sort of legislation that you may not have agreed, I get that, fine.
Yeah.
He's in a position of power. His ability to please some people is going to displease other people. I get that, fine. But like, what has this black woman that raised two intelligent black daughters, that is wildly intelligent, living out the American dream, mind you. I think she's from inner city Chicago to Princeton, from Princeton to Harvard Law. Only reason she took a back seat was because her husband was a state senator who would go on to be a president 2 times. What has this woman done? Furthermore, she could defend herself, but has no need to defend herself. And because there's nobody in the midst of that stage, that octagon, to defend her, she just has to take this public backlash. Furthermore, Shady, you got kids. Trey, you got kids. I'm not even so much as thinking about Michelle Obama. She knows she's grown what she signed up for. Imagine your daughters having to hear the woman who gave birth to them is a man, does not have the biological or genetic ability to give birth to them, but the woman who labored in giving birth to them, nurturing them, is being called a man. Michelle is one thing. She grown. She grown. Cool. She's used to it. You know what you're signing up for when you sign up to be a senator's wife and a president's wife. Kids didn't sign up for that. They didn't choose to be born by them. So to me, it's just very infuriating. It's like, why are you going to somebody who ain't even throwing no punches? Ain't even throwing no punches.
One of the reasons why a lot of people thought that having a UFC fight at the White House was in poor taste. And so you know that that's already the narrative going into this thing. You have someone then say something that's horrible at the White House, right, about a former First Lady. And these people in the White House, Stephen Chung, the president, nobody has the guts or the decency to say, that's inappropriate, it shouldn't have been said, it's wrong. Why?
Yeah, I would do that. I would say we don't endorse these comments.
But why won't they?
I don't know. I haven't really talked to them about it. I mean,
you talked to the president on Sunday.
My assumption is, Sunday morning. My assumption is that they get asked to condemn things all the time. Everybody, everywhere that says something, they're constantly being asked to condemn things. And my guess is they just sort of have a policy not to do it.
Aren't there some things that they should condemn?
This is a pretty easy one. This is the former First Lady.
I don't get it. The idea that they always have to condemn things is not an excuse for not condemning things that should be condemned.
He can't condemn it. He can't condemn it because he too has engaged in conspiracy theories against Michelle Obama. Well, in December, he reposted a meme about her having snuck into the Oval Office and used Joe Biden's auto pen to pardon people. Donald Trump reposted that. In February, he reposted another smear of her that says she was an anti-white racist. And Don Jr. himself, 2 years ago on Trans Visibility Day, posted this very same meme that this guy expressed the other night, that Michelle Obama was trans, and he did not condemn it then, so he cannot condemn it now.
So
he is involved in it.
They believe that this is something that's near and dear to the hearts of their base, and so they.
Well, I wasn't shocked by that derogatory comment made about Michelle Obama by that raggedy UFC fighter, because I remember that the company that you keep often tells a much bigger story than the one that you tell on your own. Because what continues to happen is that Donald just happens to find himself at the intersection of despicable people who build themselves up at the expense of tearing other people down. All God-fearing Christians, by the way. Every time this happens, MAGA says it's a coincidence, but at a certain point, you can't keep blaming a coincidence on the actions of a person who chooses to put people in their circle. And purportedly, Donald Trump is the president of peace. He can end wars, he can end conflicts, he can bring people together all around the world, but he doesn't know how to unite the people living here in these alleged United States? That doesn't sound like strength to me. True strength would be you regulating your emotions, you having restraint, you building bridges instead of tearing them down. And that's why this comment about Michelle Obama doesn't surprise me at all, because the company that Donald keeps seeks to inflame rage rather than to inspire change. During one of his campaigns, a comedian called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. They said he had nothing to do with that. His name is all up and through the Epstein files, and people that are connected with him, they said he has nothing to do with that. His supporters stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They said he had nothing to do with that. Posted the Obamas as monkeys on his Truth Social account, and they said it was a staffer. He had nothing to do with that. Now a UFC fighter is on the White House lawn and chooses to use a derogatory remark to respond to the former First Lady? Are these coincidences? I think not. It's the company that he keeps. The good book says in 1 Corinthians, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. Instead of reaching for a middle school insult, you could have uplifted Americans. You could have encouraged Americans. You could have talked about the divisiveness in our country. You could have rebuked power. You could have shown young boys what dedication and hard work can get you, but you'd rather win the fight and still lose the moment. And if you really wanted to deliver a swift read, what you could have done is said, we're not standing far from our new $14 million reflection pool. That's a perfect symbol of Donald Trump and his administration. A swamp that's supposed to be drained, but that is more green, murky, and vile than it was before. But none of that happened because the company that Donald keeps is not coincidental, it's curated. The president himself calls half this nation scum and unworthy of decency and human respect, and these are the same people who claim to walk in the steps of Jesus. But I promise you, the cross that you wear is not the same cross that Jesus chose to bear. Some are just learning that this administration is willing to sacrifice anybody to grift and get ahead, but I suggest that you start looking at the company that they keep, because that'll give you the clear answer even when they tell you otherwise. And to the UFC fighter, the irony of you throwing that jab at Mrs. Obama is that it swung back around and knocked you out instead, because you thought calling her a man was an insult, and it was, but not for the reason that you think, but because you have just shown in real time what the worst qualities of being a man looks like.
Yes, lovely people, you just heard that, right? I mean, that is not good at all. This is not good. This is not good. And that is why many people will call it racism. So why are you calling, and people came out to say, oh, they're supporters of Donald Trump. They're always like, it's as if they just want to fight people. They just want to cause problem. And people are right to say so. Because there are some things, you should know that this is, firstly, I would say, this is disrespect. It is really, really disrespectful. This is the former First Lady we are talking about, not any ordinary person in the street. Not any ordinary person in the street. This is the former First Lady. You have to pay her that respect. You have to give her that respect. But you didn't give her that respect. Calling her a man is like, oh, that's very, very wrong of you to have done that. No excitement. Nothing should make you to be so excited that you start saying that to people. It's like you're looking down on her. She doesn't mean anything. She doesn't mean anything. That's why you're saying that. And you just, family, you just heard what the people say. Like, people are not happy. People are not happy. Like, why will you come on? Why will you come on live? This is something that the whole world is watching. Why will you come on live and you start saying, oh, Michelle Obama is a man? Why will you be doing that? And the funniest part of it is that people are saying, oh, they were expecting Donald Trump to come out and say, oh, so you stop that. Don't do that. Why will you call Michelle Obama a man? Do not do that. But nothing happened like that. There was no stopping him. Like, no one stopped him from saying so. No one came out to say, oh, just at the presidency, like there and there, no one came out to say, oh, this thing you're saying is wrong, it's bad, don't say that. Everybody was just there laughing, excited, because they were not the one that were attacked. They were not the one that were talked to. Lovely people, let's just continue to watch what people have to say.
Did he just call Michelle Obama a man in front of the world? At the White House, Josh Hokit embarrassed Derek Lewis, beat the brakes off of him, broke him down, better everywhere, and then he goes on the mic and calls Michelle Obama a man. I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. This is real life. Josh Hokit, biggest moment of his life after dismantling Derek Lewis, walking him down. He goes on the mic and he cuts off the promo he was gonna say, and he calls Michelle Obama a man to end it off. He calls out Alex Pereira and he ends it off with calling Michelle Obama a man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what timeline we're in. He was beating the brakes out of Derek Lewis. He literally stood no chance in the entire fight. I don't even know if Derek Lewis landed much at all. Hokit almost had an armbar at the end of round 1 after literally beating the hell out of Lewis in that round, and he just didn't know how to finish it. Didn't raise his hips, didn't put it off to the side to break it, but then he ultimately just breaks Derek Lewis down to the combinations, gets him on the ground and starts breaking him with it, and Lewis basically quits. Falls to his back, exhausted, out of his mind. Josh Hokit is legit. He is a contender. He is a guy that you are going to want to see towards the heavyweight division. This guy is championship material. Derek Lewis, it's time to go. I don't know why Michelle Obama's catch his trains, to be honest.
Do we think that Michelle Obama is losing sleep? That a person who looks like this called her a man? Absolutely not. It's another day for her, I guarantee it. Insecure and stupid men are always threatened by a highly intelligent and successful woman. Michelle Obama is not like Melania Trump. She went to Princeton and graduated from Harvard Law School. Michelle Obama did not get to the White House by opening up her legs. She met her husband at an Ivy League university. And unlike Melania Trump, her accomplishments don't start and end with her husband. But men like this are always threatened by women like Michelle Obama, because women like that always threatens their fragile sense of self. The worth of men like this is enveloped in their sense to dominate, to overpower others, especially women. But whenever they meet or see or even have an awareness of women who they can't dominate, what do? They insult her, they abuse her, and they reduce her to her body because they know they cannot meet these women intellectually. When you look closer at what someone chooses to insult you with, you can see their insecurities. This has nothing to do with Michelle Obama. White supremacy has nothing to do with strength, has nothing to actually do with supremacy. It's an illusion, and it's a weapon that insecure and fragile white people tend to wield when they're outmatched by a person of color. If you think about it, this man just won a fight in a room full of pedos, probably his biggest accomplishment to date. And look at what he chooses to say and do with the time that he gets to talk about his biggest accomplishment. Michelle Obama is on his mind. He is terrorizing this man. But what does the terror stem from? A black woman being smarter, more respected, more accomplished than him. And the funniest thing, he couldn't insult her with the truth. He had to resort to a lie. Insecurity 101. And this is why men like this always love submissive women. It has nothing to do with femininity, values, please. It's everything to do with who they can dominate. Because submissive women mask their insecurity. They don't challenge them. They tell them exactly what they want to hear. A submissive woman will stand to the side and let him have the spotlight. But what does an intelligent woman with strength and audacity do? She'll challenge him, force him to become better. And you can absolutely tell that this 20-plus-year-old man-child has never encountered a strong woman in his life.
Easy, and all you did was perpetuate a racial stereotype that you've been saying for years. They said the same thing about Venus and Serena. Every time a black woman becomes something, others, some people from that side try to take a shot at them. It's been going on. I mean, when is it going to be enough?
What has Michelle Obama done to any of y'all? If you want to be mad at President Obama because maybe he passed some sort of legislation that you may not have agreed, I get that, fine. Yeah. He's in a position of power. His ability to please some people is going to displease other people. I get that, fine. But like, what has this black woman that raised 2 intelligent black daughters, that is wildly intelligent, living out the American dream, mind you. I think she's from inner city Chicago to Princeton, from Princeton to Harvard Law. Only reason she took a back seat was because her husband was a state senator who would go on to be a president 2 times. What has this woman done? Furthermore, she could defend herself, but has no need to defend herself. And because there's nobody in the midst of that stage, that octagon, to defend her, she just has to take this public backlash. Furthermore, Shady, you got kids. Trey, you got kids. I'm not even so much as thinking about Michelle Obama. She knows she's grown what she signed up for. Imagine your daughters having to hear the woman who gave birth to them is a man. does not have the biological or genetic ability to give birth to them, but the woman who labored in giving birth to them, nurturing them, is being called a man. Michelle is one thing. She grown. Cool. She's used to it. You know what you're signing up for when you sign up to be a senator's wife and a president's wife. Kids didn't sign up for that. They didn't choose to be born by them. So to me, it's just very infuriating. It's like, why are you going to somebody who ain't even throwing no punches?
Yes, lovely people. So you just heard that. I don't know what you have to say. Let me get your opinion at the comment section. Do you think this man should be punished or not? Because for me, I feel like they should give him some sort of punishment. He shouldn't go scot-free. So that next time he will not do that again. You should mind the kind of things you say. Why, if you are so excited, why don't you like make fun of yourself or fun of any of your family members? We don't want to start dragging family members into this bed. I feel like, okay, why don't you make fun of maybe your friend? Why must you go for a black community member? Why must you go for a black community member? That's what so many people are asking. And that is where they get to classify it. This is racism. This is racism. For you to actually go, that you don't have respect for your formality. So, family, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, here this is what we talk about. We report what is happening in the black community, how they are being treated, how they are being underpaid. Okay, so do well to subscribe to this channel so that you get to see more of such videos. Thank you so much. Do not forget to like, comment below and share this video to as many as possible. Thank you, and to have a nice day. Bye.